Hi, Kathleen.
Hi,
Good morning.
good morning.
Okay, so we are going to start now, and I will give a short interview of Kathleen Kanet right here before I go on with the questions. So, Kathleen Kanet is a member of the Religious of the Sacred Heart of Mary and a founder of the Network for Peace Through Dialogue. She worked as a supervisor for the Incarcerated Mothers Program, where they served families when the mother was or is incarcerated. She also worked as an administrator of a large elementary school. She has a long time involvement in peace education and is also interested in human rights, um, has also experience in human rights, economic development, and militarization. And we are going to ask the first question. So, Kathleen, what is it that pushed you towards the care for the earth?
Thank you very much for having me, for interviewing me. What has pushed me? I think that it is a coming to belief that this is a very, very important issue for all of us on Earth to consider. It connects us. It connects us all together, and I, for a long time, have been involved in issues related to peace and justice, but maybe it just wasn't time yet for me, for us to really focus on this particular issue and how we relate to the earth. Um, so, in a sense, it has been a concern for me for a long time, but I think that I have taken for granted that it's always going to be there. The earth and its resources are always going to be there for the people who come after me. And I think that I have grown to the point where I don't really think that's the case. I think that the earth will continue, but we as human beings may not continue. So that we really have to think about how we can live differently in respect to that which nourishes us. So that probably is, it's a slow development of, I've always been interested in, I did programs on how we can deal with the fact that when nuclear weapons are a danger to us, how we can end war, how we can build peace among us, and working to change specific things. Like we were involved recently with looking at human trafficking. So I think that this now, helping people to refocus our energies and to share what people are doing to make the earth uh, continue to be a good resource for us. So it's a it's it's for me. It's been developmental in my focusing on some of my own response to it. You know, how can I evaluate what I am doing personally, what I am doing with the people that I relate to, and what I can share with other people, with the resources that we have, which is
Okay.
the organization that we both work with at the Network for Peace Through Dialogue.
Yeah. So this is kind of a continuing question, or like more of a spontaneous question, but would can you think of like a moment where you actually had the realization of the Earth going on without us, but we may not be able to continue on?
Well, I guess I think there are several moments. I remember one time, maybe about 10 years ago, I was with a colleague who had worked in peace education with me, and she was probably more advanced in thinking about our relationship with the earth. And she said to me, she said, you know, it's not a matter of humanity in in survival,
Mm-hmm.
or or the Earth. It was like we were talking about saving Mother Earth, and she said, "Well, it's really not a matter of saving the Earth." She said, "We would be like fleas on the top of the Earth, and Earth would shake his head, and we'd go flying off like a bunch
Oh
of
my
fleas."
God.
So that was, I said, "Oh, well, now that really is a visual that shows what really could happen to us, that the earth itself, although it might be damaged by us, it is going to survive. But we as humanity may not." And that was, but it's still, that was 10 years ago. So it takes a long time, sometimes takes a long time to come to a real commitment to do something, and that's just the way each of us grows. So maybe what we can do can help others to participate, to grow in that realization also. So that's one example.
Yeah,
And
that's
then I was at another example was I was at a peace education program, and this one of my colleagues came in and he said, "There's only one real issue here. You know, we're concerned about nuclear weapons. We're concerned about uh, what we would do with if we didn't spend so much money on the military. What would we do with the money?" He said, "But there's really only one question, and the question is the survival of humanity on Earth." So now some people don't believe that. So, but I think that I have come to a realization that we really have to pay attention to it.
yeah. So I was going to ask, continuing on with that, like for someone, who just recently realized about this, about the environmental concerns, what is your advice to them?
Well, my advice, what would I consider somebody who was coming newly into this issue?
Yeah.
And um, well, I guess I would have them find colleagues of similar mind that they could be with to explore this together.
Hmm.
I would probably have people reflect on how important the earth is to us and all that is there. Um, uh, let's see. I guess each of us can only focus on the things that we're able to do. So, what kind of talent or intuition or ability do we have to participate in this? And probably not to take it all on. We recently had Claire McBrien, and she, it's big, it's huge, it's the world, it's everything that's about us. But she was saying that we only have one patch to work on, and if we're faithful to that one patch and trust, that's all we can control anyway. So I guess I think of that, and then I always think that it's a global question. It's global beyond global in some sense. It's global further than Earth. It's like the universe. But where we are is the only place that we can act. So we have to think. It's an old saying. We think globally, but we can only act in our own milieu. And we need to act on different levels. We interact with one another. It's on a personal level, so that we relate to others with respect. And then we relate through structures, and some of the structures are the ones that are organized in a way that they might make money, but they're destroying the earth. So then we don't want to support that so much. We want to fight. We want to fight on the side of the earth on relating to institutions which are destructive. And we didn't make those institutions personally, but somebody did. So if they were made personally, then it is possible that they can be changed if we organize and we work to try to change those. So, but it takes new ways of thinking. It takes new ways of perceiving and relating. That education is very important. So, and then the other thing that you said, what would people who just begin to do it, talk about it with your friends? So I'm interested in this. Make it a topic of conversation.
Yeah,
I belong to a book. I belong to a book group, and we read books and we discuss the books. But now they have been coming to some of our living room dialogues, and at our last book group, we discovered that all of us are now composting.
mm-hmm.
So, and that came out of, and that wasn't the discussion of the book, but it came up in the conversation of the time that we were together, and we were sort of happy that we said that, and we were talking about where do you compost, what do you do, how do you take care of it, and we still had the book discussion, which wasn't related to the issue of composting, but it's how you do it day to day with your colleagues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, a, kind of our living room dialogues is sort of like that, like, inviting a bunch of people and then talking about certain topics. So what you are doing is definitely what you're preaching what you're doing. So that's great. The next question, or our last question actually, would be what specifically about the environment are you passionate about? For example, fracking or mining or animals?
Well, for me, the question of oil is of interest to me. I think it's like our overdependence on oil. And I can remember, I don't know if you ever saw the movie The Graduate.
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's a good movie. It came out about, I don't know how many years ago. But there's one scene in it where this young fellow, this older man is talking to this young man, and he's just starting out in life. And I think he just comes out of a swimming pool, and he whispers in his ear, and he says, plastic. He says, plastics. I think I have the word right. And everything is coming out plastic, but it's all from oil, and everything around us is. And you just look around. So, but what's happening, and we're seeing it now. We're talking about fracking, and how does the oil get found, and where does it get displayed? It's going underneath the ground, and that's dangerous. We've just had huge fires in Canada, a huge fire in Canada, and now in North Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the tar sands, where it's encased in tar, and it takes so much water in order to extract the oil from it. So maybe we have to relook at alternatives to oil. So that's sort of interesting. It's of interest to me.
I agree. Oil is a very scary and intriguing topic.
Yes, and we're so dependent on it in so many ways. Yes.
Yeah.
These are not easy questions. These are not easy answers, and we don't yet know how we can do it. But I think we also have to have the hope that we can do it, and the faith that working together that it can happen.
Yeah, I very much agree.
Well, thank you for the interview.
Of course. Thank you so much. This was a really great conversation.
Good.
And I'm looking forward to having more conversations with you.
Good. Okay. Very good.
Bye.
Bye-bye.